How's it going, everybody? Doing a gum chewing PS4 collection video here today. I've got the Big Rally Blue Raspberry Big League Chew. Seriously blue. I'll be picking from this periodically while I do the vid. I think I'm up to 23 games. Gum's not that bad. I'll probably turn my tongue blue. Anyway, I'm gonna start grabbing from these. First one is Zero Time Dilemma. I need to get the Nonary games so I can have 999 and Virtue's Last Reward. Haven't played it yet. I would assume it's similar to the other ones. These games, people are usually trapped somewhere and they have something on their wrist. Gotta solve puzzles and stuff to get out of the room and shit like that. Try to figure a way out. I picked this one up at GameStop because of my first $20 used. I was afraid that some of these games will disappear, but hopefully I get around to playing this at some point. Lost Judgment. This game looks cool. I guess Judgment is the first one, and this is the second. I didn't even know that. I think I said in the Christmas haul video, I thought that one was like a complete version, or whatever you want to say, the definitive edition. It's actually the sequel, but this one sounds cool, and I'm pretty sure it's in like the same Yakuza. It's in the Yakuza universe. I actually am excited to play this one. I don't know why. It looks like it has the goofy mini games and stuff as well. Uncharted 4, Thief's End. Really cool game. I talked about it in my review. It has problems, and it usually just stems from combat because for some reason after 4 games, well, that the Vita one wasn't made by Naughty Dog. I would assume they oversaw it, but I don't know if they changed it for that standalone expansion they had with Chloe and what's the other woman's name? She has a personal army. I can't remember her name, but she's like one of the antagonists, and you know, spoiler alert, she kind of turns, but not like good, but she kind of like turns. The bad guy kind of turns on her, and then she's like, "Fuck you." Really cool game though. It looks amazing. The voice acting's great. Story's solid. I said the enemies are still bullet sponges after all this time. It's kind of annoying, but still overall really, really good game. And I like the ending to it. It wasn't like a boo-hoo sad ending where like 8 people die. It was just, you know what, everybody lives. And then you get to see them when they're a little bit older. Tales of Berseria. I grabbed this one because I do like some of the Tales games, and this is one of those other ones I got at GameStop. I assume I'll get around to playing at some point. Well, let me start with this is The Last of Us Remastered. I have not opened it yet, but after playing the second one, I'm like, I want to revisit the first. And this one has the Left Behind DLC, which is cool. I just want to revisit it because I haven't played it since when they come out 2013. I borrowed it from my friend. I think summer of 2013 I played it. Or some shit like that. It was awesome though. And I definitely want to revisit this. And here's the part 2. Did a review on this one too. Really enjoyed it a lot. I think with every other game that I play, or most, a lot of games don't stick with me as long as I think they will because I move on to something else so fast and it like leaves my mind. But I did have a ton of fun with this. I think I put a little under 28 hours in. Cool story. This is more of the boo-hoo. Obviously, the game world in here is depressing, so a lot of the story is going to be depressing, but it was nice. You play as Ellie, and I spoiled enough of this in the review, but and Abby. But it was cool. You know, they do a good job of kind of making Abby a little bit sympathetic, but and even though Ellie, not make Ellie look bad, but it's this kind of world, like all these apocalyptic worlds, you know. No one's almost really good in a sense. Everybody's done something messed up. And it's really like the cycle of revenge and shit. You gotta kind of stop it because it's like, you killed him, I'm gonna kill you. Now that person who liked them is gonna kill me. And then the person who liked me is gonna kill, you know? It goes, you know, it's kind of like about snapping the cycle of revenge. I really did like it though. It looks amazing. And the gameplay is still fun. Even if you're not into the story, I would play it just for the gameplay. And shit. Graphics, but this was part 2. Oh, here's Last Guardian with the puzzle looking artwork. I got this at GameStop because it was cheaper and it was the only one they had, but the artwork obviously clearly got ripped to shreds and like taped back together. I played some of this. It's made by the people who did Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. So it has that kind of cool art style. You play with it. I forget what he calls this thing. I forget what he calls it. It says it's got to say it on the back, right? No. He does give it a name. But it's kind of cool. You got to do like little puzzle stuff with the kid, move stuff, figure out ways to, you know, he climbs around on stage, you hop on the animal and shit. Pretty cool so far. Killzone Shadowfall. I've not played it yet. This is one of the first games I picked up before even the system even got to me. Was this a launch title? I think it might have been. But kind of wanted a shooter in there. So I grabbed this one. It's like $8. Kena, Bridge of Spirits, or Kena. I played a little bit of this, but this was interesting to me because it has an old school vibe, like a PS2 era type vibe to it. PS2, Xbox Cube, especially the PS2 and specifically, they'd have a lot of these kind of games that were really cool games. You didn't really hear about them. All of a sudden, they would just come out like every month. You know, solid combat and stuff. Usually have some kind of companion or something. These things are here. They're rot. But I only played a little bit of it so far. And it looks really nice and shit, so I'll get back into it at some point. Horizon Zero Dawn, I've not played it yet, but it looked cool. A lot of people said good things about it, so this is another one that's cheap. God of War, I still need to beat this. This happens to me from time to time, like I'm super into a game, because this game's amazing. And I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I think it's going to be over in maybe an hour or two, so I'm like, I want to make it last. And I moved on to something else because I went to Uncharted because I want a little bit of a change of pace too. And then I kind of just didn't go back to this yet. I still need to complete this, so it is awesome. You're using Kratos again, and Atreus is his kid. And now you're in Midgard after you fled Greece or whatever, after what happened at God of War 3. Now you're back, and the Nord gods find you. And now they're looking for him. They're looking for Atreus. And then you pull your Kratos stuff and you go on a rampage and you're killing everything. He tries to live a normal life, but someone's always pissing him off. It's a really awesome game, though. It looks amazing. Combat's super fun, as always. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. I played a little bit of this. I picked it up because I thought it was cool that there's an origin story to the original Final Fantasy that came out way back in the day on the NES. Phenomenal game, by the way. I think it came out here in 90. It might have been out in Japan in like 87 even. And I thought it was cool that I think you're pretty much playing as Garland, who ends up being like the main bad guy in the original Final Fantasy. So I thought that was kind of cool, like his origin story. And it's got the run around combat and shit. not the turn-based stuff. Just more, you have two other buddies with you at the time. I can't remember their names. But you're there to destroy chaos, and you have like some mark on you or something, and it vibrates or something. I forget. It was kind of cool. It didn't. I think I said in another video. It didn't look amazing graphically. It didn't look bad, but it's probably one of those games where it's probably better off being played on the PS5. But it seemed interesting. I think it was $30 when I got it. Song of Horror. This is the Christmas one. That's obviously still sealed. It looked cool, and I wanted some survival horror action, so this will be another game I throw in as a change of pace. Stray. Talked about this and what I've been playing. Really cool game. This is a change of pace. It's different than the other stuff. You're playing as the cat, obviously. And you get separated from your other cat buddies, and now you're with these like robots, and you're finding out what happened to the old world, and these robots are here, and they're being attacked by these things called the Zerks. They're like giant ticks, and you have to avoid them while solving puzzles and exploring areas and stuff and finding things for people and shit. It's fun. It's a nice game. It looks pretty good too, actually. The cat looks amazing. The animation's all really good. Even the robots look really nice and stuff. And the game world has that like cyberpunkish, it's like that Deus Ex look to it, kind of those cities, which I always appreciate that look. Really cool game, and it's definitely a change of pace. Like, if you're looking for something different, pick this up. Here is the Shadow of the Colossus remaster, I guess. Or it says it's rebuilt from the ground up, so maybe it's a full remake. I did not beat this back in the day. I had it on the PS2. I think I killed like 4 of these colossi, whatever they call them. I forget the person's name. Is it? You're like, I guess your love, or who she is, I would assume. They're both in love, but she's like asleep. And you have to, I think someone tells you have to take out all these things to wake her up, but I think actually you don't. Like, the person just wanted to get rid of them. I don't know for sure, but I'm actually interested in getting back into this. Or playing it again, because the last time I played it was probably like 2006. Sackboy, a big adventure. We completed this last night, at least the main part. We got to go back. There's like a hidden world after you beat it, which is super hard levels. And then you want to get all the orbs and all the other shit. You got to collect outfits. So this is one of the ones I wanted to complete, and I beat it. We beat it last night, 31st. So either tomorrow or Tuesday, I'm going to do that request that I had for games beaten in 2022. So I wanted at least, I think this was the 10th game. Like, I'll get into why there's only 10 in there, but it was cool. It has its problems. Some of the camera angles are bad, especially when you walk away from the person you're playing with, and it does not focus on one person, and then you can't see. But it looks nice. The gameplay's, it's a solid 2D platformer. Not 2D platformer, 3D platformer in the vein of like a Mario. You use Sackboy. You can customize your outfits and stuff. And you get different abilities. In certain levels, you get a boomerang type thing, or these plasma pumps, they call them. Stuff like that. Grappling hook. Cool game. Ratchet and Clank. This is, I guess, what does it say on the back? The game based on the movie, based on the game. I never played the original Ratchet and Clank, only in small parts, I should say, when I like picked it up at garage sales or something. I didn't play the PS2 ones at the time, and then I got into the series with the PS3 ones, Tools of Destruction and A Crack in Time, and was the other one, Into the Nexus. This is like a remake, and it follows the movie, I guess, of the original. It looks gorgeous as always, and you always get the cool weapons in these games and stuff. This is just a fun game to play. Like, this is definitely another kind of change of pace. This game we played a little bit last night. I wanted this too. It's Joe and Mac, new Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. It has a really nice kind of cartoon look to it, but maybe I'm like misremembering how much I liked the one on the Super Nintendo. But I'm gonna have to give it another go. We played a little bit. It was kind of annoying. There's just a bunch of random shit happening. The controls aren't that great. I want to get back into it though. Maybe give it another shot because it does look really nice. Mozart Requiem. I had this on. I got this for Christmas. I had it on my list, so I was like, eh. It looks like an old school King's Quest type, kind of point and click type adventure. And it's an adventure game in the old vein of adventure games. So I threw it on the list. I don't know if I grabbed it. Ghost of Tsushima, the game I forgot I had when someone's like, you can play that next. I was like, that's right, I have that because I just started buying a bunch of games. I do need to get into this at some point because people say it's amazing. This is a director's cut that has some DLC. But a lot of people say this is an awesome game, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. But this is like an open world game. I'm gonna need to like be wanting to get into an open world game to really not that I'd hate it, but to really focus on it and just play it nonstop. Maybe after I finish up Stray and Final Fantasy and God of War. Speaking of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, here it is. Talked about this in the impressions video, and then briefly in what I've been playing. Talked about how I never played the original past like an hour or two because I didn't have PS1 back in the day. I was in 64. But looks really nice. Use Cloud Strife, obviously. People love this game. Like even the original, is like people love it. It's like their favorite Final Fantasy. You got Cloud Strife was Aerith Gainsborough, Tifa Lockhart, Garrett Wilson. Combat's cool. Once again, it's not turn-based anymore. They do it in the like Final Fantasy 15 type. It's fun. It's fast-paced. Looks nice. This is another one that has like nostalgia, which is nice, and it feels old school while also feeling modern at the same time. Like it has a very like you're running around the slums doing stuff for people, and you're kind of confined to a pretty big area. But you know what it reminds me of? But a little bit bigger in scope of the area that you're in. Like the Knights of the Old Republic games where you would go to a place and you can go you can't explore all over the place, but you have paths you can go down and stuff. A little bit similar to that. It's really cool. I've been enjoying the hell out of it. I think I'm just like 20 hours in. Death Stranding still sealed. Some people love this game. Some people do not. A lot of people said you gotta kind of get past power through the first like couple of hours or whatever because it's slow going. But I remember I picked it up because it was $10, and I don't know. It looked interesting and different. I know sometimes Kojima games get a little blown out of proportion with how good people say they are. I'm sure the story's batshit insane and it's hard to follow like the Metal Gear games. I love those Metal Gear stories, but man, they get like so ridiculous. You're like, what? But yeah, Death Stranding. And the last one is Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I did play this on the Xbox One, but I have a digital copy of it there, and it was dirt cheap. So my fiance grabbed it. It was one of my Christmas games, and I might play it again, though. It's a really cool game. I like this series. I liked Invisible War. I never played Conspiracy. That was on the PS2 as well. I played Invisible War on the original Xbox. Really cool. And then you use Adam Jensen here in Human Revolution, the 360 PS3 one, and then this was the other one. Once again, that cool cyberpunk type world. Environments are cool. It's just there's a lot of cool things you can do. It's a stealthy game, so you have to be kind of as stealth as you can. But it's really cool and neat that you can do different augmentations to your body and stuff. Like in Human Revolution, like he's like completely human, but he's like a security. He works for security or something. Something happens, his body gets like blown apart, so he's pretty much just almost full robot at this point. But yeah, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, cool series too. If you even wanted to go back and play those older ones, like Conspiracy has to be super cheap. I know Invisible War is super cheap. All these games are. Human Revolution can't be expensive either. But yeah, that is my PS4 collection. I kind of wanted to do it now because I don't know if I'm going to be picking up other games in the near future, but knowing me, I'll have 10 by next week. But I figured I'd show kind of an update. But thanks everybody for checking us out, and have a good day.